And we are live. What is up, everybody? Aaron the dog here tonight because we are not in the Apex, so the dog can be let out. UFC Atlantic City. Erin Blanchfield, Manon Fiorot in the main event. Co-main event of Vicente Luque and Joaquin Buckley. Joaquin Phoenix. Wow.
No, you had it right the first time.
No, if only. And then Bruno Silva, Weidman. So it's a very interesting card. I think it's pretty competitive, but overall, I think most of the fights, like I said, it's pretty competitive. I think you could argue the winner in pretty much every fight. Maybe even the Herbert Burns fight. Are we gonna have another big upset on this card? But yeah, I mean, I get it. It's not the highest of cards here, but it's not bad. We were talking about it. You said you're a little more excited about this one coming up this weekend than the last few weeks. I'd say maybe not the case for me, but about as excited as the last few weeks. So it's not bad. But what are your thoughts on the card before we hop into it?
Well, first of all, as always, thank you for having me. I appreciate doing this with you every week. This is a really fun stream, and yeah, I'm a little bit more excited about this one than the last couple, but I think it's just kind of by default. Like if you had this in the middle of like pay-per-views or like other awesome cards, this would have totally fallen by the wayside. But just because of the I guess we just kind of the level, the bar has been lowered a little bit. This one kind of slightly stands above the last two for me.
Yeah, it's funny because when you do well on cards, all of a sudden the card is a lot better.
Right, dude. It could be the shittiest card, but you kill it. You're like, oh, man, this card rocks. It was
Yeah,
the fucking
2 weeks
shit.
ago, I'm going to be talking. Yeah, exactly. So, obviously, we've been on a little bit of heater lately. Came up short on the Zhongli last week, but we'll see about this week. Yeah, I mean, I've been enjoying the overall tape. I think these guys are pretty entertaining fighters for the most part fighting this weekend. Another thing I like is it's not a lot of combined ages of 70 fighting tonight or this weekend, I should say. So yeah, we shall see. I'll try to remember to put up timestamps this time. I wrote them down last time and then never put them up. So yeah, we'll go for it this time. No promises, but go ahead and hop into it. We got 14 fights to talk about, which I do think is the magic number for a fight card, even if I'll complain about it till the end of time. Starting out with I think a pretty sneaky good fight, actually. I love Angel Pacheco. I always will love Angel Pacheco. The Danny Silva fight was awesome. Really fun fight up at featherweight. He's now going down to bantamweight for the first time in his career. So that's definitely something I'm interested in and a little bit worried about out of the 32-year-old out of Minnesota. I don't think he's going to be particularly huge at 135 either. And I am nervous about him in his mid-30s making his first cut to 135 because we're going to talk about cuts a few times on the card here. Obviously, we know with Chitty it will come up, and we'll talk about it there with a guy who's 34, 35 years old. But still, I'm not crazy about that at all. Wrestling defense, also a bit of a worry for me with Angel Pacheco. But if he can frustrate the wrestling of Lachlan, we saw in his last fight, obviously that was against a good guy in Tara Lapalus. But Lapalus, not known for his amazing takedown defense. And early on, his takedowns were, I mean, it looks like he really gets physical with his takedowns. So I could see him having success early. If Angel's able to stop one, I think that leads to stopping a few takedowns. And I do think that he could, turn this into a volume affair. I think that's obviously what we're going to be worried about with Pacheco at this point after seeing his contender series fight, even earlier in his career. Lachlan, I think, should be the favorite. I don't think he should be this size of a favorite. So for me, a little bit of a heart play probably. I did put a small wager on Angel Pacheco at plus 285. This is one where he could get washed out with the wrestling and I think, kind of beat up and submitted early on, but I don't know. I like what I saw of Pacheco. I don't believe that, him getting signed was a fluke. He's never been finished. So, there's questions about Loughran being able to keep his tank going and everything like that. But Loughran is the side. If there's no lines, I would take Loughran probably by, I would say by submission. I think he kind of beats him up and submits him, but I got to bet on Pacheco. So I'm hoping this one's close and gets down to kind of the cards, and a little bit of the volume plays a factor. So, I guess my official pick will be Pacheco by decision. I think he gets through after maybe a dicey round one. So could be a good spot to even look into a possible live bet. But the problem with live betting Pacheco is he hasn't shown you can do it at this level. So again, I will always be honest. I like Pacheco a lot. I'm taking a shot on here against Loughran that he solves the wrestling, turns into a stand-up affair, and Loughran is just going to kind of get drowned by the volume. So Pacheco by decision, but not hugely confident play, and more just based on the line.
Yeah, I don't hate the stab on Pacheco just because it's getting stupid, man. He's almost plus 300. I don't think Loughran is that good, but I think he does win. Like I see Kyle and Loughran kind of winning like a 29-28, wrestling heavy. He lands a couple big ones, gets Pacheco distracted enough, maybe forces him against the cage, gets the, like you said, the aggressive, strong man takedowns, and kind of wins. I don't know. I don't think it'll be like a terrible fight necessarily, but I think if he has his way, it might not be like the craziest thing we've ever seen. But yeah, I don't minus 375 for a dude that doesn't have that many fights, and it kind of feels like they're giving him a more winnable fight. But like Pacheco, he's not a punk. Like he'll definitely fight. But yeah, I'll pick Loughran. But yeah, it's a big old pass for me.
Yeah, I mean, another thing which I'll be a broken record on this, I'll bring this up a lot, I'll be honest, is there's no more USADA. And if one of these guys is taking advantage of no more USADA, it's going to be the guy who's had inflatable needles thrown at him in fights with Cage Warriors against Lucas Shanks and Colin Loughran. Because if one of these guys is using the supplements, I do think it's the 27-year-old Colin Loughran compared to 32-year-old Angel Pacheco, which, again, Pacheco's never fought down at bantamweight. He's up to plus 295, so I missed the line movement on that as well. So, whoops. Minus 375 on Loughran is crazy. And, yeah, I just think it's a little bit closer of a fight than that. So, we shall see. I think that's a really appropriate opener for the card. If there was another opener, I'd have, honestly, it'd probably be Connor Matthews in Bazooka. But Bazooka Joe and Connor Matthews are up on the card a little bit. Next fight on the card, this is at 185, and this fight to me, I don't know. I feel it's pretty cut and dry. I think Jacob Malkoun matches up pretty well with Andre Petrosky, if I'm being honest. I think that grappling-wise and wrestling-wise, he can hang in there with Petrosky, especially early on where Petrosky's more dangerous. I think cardio-wise, Malkoun has a huge advantage. Malkoun is advancing a lot more with regards to MMA, stand-up-wise. Also, Malkoun. What up, Lou? And if you want to hop in, just let us know, and you can come on in. Lou, if you want to go to the show with me, I'll go. Either way, to me, I pretty much check off every box on the side of Malkoun. I don't really highly rate Petrosky. I think that against a certain level of guys, he kind of gets exposed. I went back and watched his fight even against Mearshart. I don't think he really blew me away in that one. I get it, Malkoun, a little bit inconsistent, losing to, a pretty high level. Went back and watched the Brundage fight. What it is also. So I do think Malkoun takes this one, wins it by most likely decision. Maybe a Malkoun round 2 or 3 finish can pay pretty well. And if he wears down Petrosky, I could see him maybe grounding him out. But maybe I'm overrating Malkoun here, but I think he kind of justified it. I think he's right where he should be priced at maybe a little overweight. He probably should be like minus 180. He's at minus 250 right now, but I still like his side in this spot. I just think he matches up pretty well with Petrosky. I'm not sure what Petrosky gives him.
Yeah, this one's weird for me because this is the battle of two dudes that I love to fade the both of them. I don't really like either one of these dudes as far as like fire. Neither one of them are fighters that I really like check for or like, oh man, I can't wait until these guys fight. Like, I think they're both just kind of like future fades to me. Maybe not Malkoun, but that's the problem is like, this feels like way too obvious of a Malkoun spot, like almost too good to be true. Like he just seems like the better fighter everywhere, but I could also see him getting spark. So like the pick is obviously Malkoun for me, but I have no interest in playing that. I'm not even saying that the line is crazy, but it just seems like little, I don't know. I could see Andre like sparking him with like a big overhand or something. But outside of that, I think Malkoun is pretty much better everywhere and will definitely pick him, but no bet for me. I don't hate anyone for taking a shot on Petrosky. I really don't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just very unsold on Petrosky. And I'll be honest, this is a tough week for the Zhongli. And he is a candidate right now. So Malkoun is a candidate to be added to the Zhongli. And yeah, it dropped a link there for Lou. We'll see if Lou joins us. If he doesn't, we understand as well. But either way, moving on to the next fight here. Is that carousel music I hear? Because this is a carousel fight. Melissa Gatto has never met a takedown that she didn't like to use to just go to her back. Watch all of her tape. If a takedown is thought of, she's going to her back. She has very good jiu-jitsu. Very well could submit from her back as well here. She has more improved stand-up for sure as time's gone. Has a knockout over an exhausted Sajara Eubanks gas bag in one of her fights. Had a very close fight in her last fight out. Has faced a better level of competition here. The line was kind of out of control for a while in Dudakova. So I thought about taking the shot. It's not gotten to the point where I'm just going to pass, and I think that Gatto probably submits her. If this could also go to a decision and just be literally get 2 cents coin out. I'm going to go with Gatto at this point, but this is pretty low level, and I just trust the level of competition that Melissa has faced. But yeah. What's your thoughts? 2 cents and Lewis. Good to see you, my friend. Looking nice.
The new handle.
Yeah. Oh,
I sent both of you a follow.
Okay. Yeah, I will. I will be following.
Sorry, let me rephrase that. The scribe of Lou.
Yeah, from the scribe of Lou.
My administrative assistant sent you both requests.
Yeah, and I see that. But good to have you here from the desk of Lou Betcha. But good to have you here, sir, for this elite card. And you joined us for a very good fight in Melissa Gatto.
I like this. I'm going to the card, so I like it.
Nice. Oh, thanks for the invite. Well, this is awkward.
Not like we're all in the regional area or anything.
Yeah, no problem.
Sorry, I just created Atlantic City, so sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's all good. But we'll get to you next, Lou. But go ahead, 2 cents. What's your thoughts on this fight?
Dude, it's funny that you mentioned the coin because I had almost considering letting the coin speak because it has been so sage-like and accurate lately, but it just feels like a Gatto spot. I just think she's the better fighter. I do hate that she's hey, like you said, is there an opportunity for me to pull guard? Because I'll sure fucking take it if you give it to me. But yeah, I think she could even do that and just throw up a triangle or something. So I'm gonna pick Gatto. I think the line is nice, but yeah, it's not the highest level. And yeah, but that plus 136. I don't know. Gatto just seems like.
I mean, all of the value. There's been some weird value on this card, for sure. I'm not sure if it's the ship hitting the bridge or what it is, but something's going on.
It maybe, man. R.I.P. though. Seriously, that was such a fucking tragedy. The dirty bridge down. Indeed,
indeed.
But yeah, man, I'll just fucking pick Gatto, but nah, no thanks.
Lou, what's your thoughts on this one?
Did I miss the Malkoun Petrosky fight, by the way?
Yeah, and you can put your thoughts. I'm pretty confident on the Malkoun side, but tell me.
Okay, good, because I'm going to disagree with you on that. But so
so
I'll get this one out of the way real quick. I would pick Gatto. I'm never betting this because there's something suspicious about this line, especially with how bad Dudakova looked in her last fight against Jimmy Frey, that she's moving up, that she had staph in her Lord knows what.
Yep.
That she's still like pretty untested. I'm not, beating Estela Nunez in 1 minute tells me nothing. Gatto hasn't fought in a long time. There's just a lot of things that like you feel like Gatto should probably be like minus 200 range, and she's not, and it hasn't really moved. Just from an old chunk of coal gambler perspective, there's something amiss with this line. I thought it last week with Salal. I think it this week with Dudakova. I'm just not touching it.
Fair enough. And what's your thoughts on Petrosky and Malkoun?
So I have a tracked bet on Petrosky plus 3.5 minus 155. And that I think he has all the optics on the feet. They have the same reach, but Malkoun's got like fucking T-Rex arms. And he doesn't know how to strike. He has no finishing equity. He doesn't have killer instinct. He couldn't finish a one-legged Maximov. I'm not using MMA math here, but like Malkoun just tore through him. And Malkoun could have finished Maximov whenever he wanted and just kind of play with his food. He can be taken down. Cody Brundage took him down. Brendan Allen took him down. I think Petrosky can at least win a round and then hang in there. It's probably got to be the first round, but I think Petrosky can win the first or second round at a decent clip, and he can get reversals too. But I think Malkoun wins the fight. It's greasy. The plus 3.5 I really liked.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that. I think that it like the finishing equity with Malkoun would be that, I do think he'd have to kind of cardio him to death as the fight went on, and kind of drown him that way. But yeah, no, I don't hate it at all. And no, I don't like the minus 250 line on Malkoun. I was just saying with this card, and I know your favorite thing, the Zhongli, which has hit 2 of the last 3 weeks, is, like it is a candidate for the Zhongli on a card like this. So, but we'll move on from Miss Gato. Next fight, a rematch from Brave of Ivo Aslan taking on Anton Turkalij. And Raw Torque, I'm with you. Let's fucking go, Andre. That's fine. Make it a competitive fight. I don't care if I have to sweat for the first leg of the Zhongli. Doesn't bother me. But yeah, no, this is a good fight. It was a good first fight. Ibo is just kind of a big meathead, walks forward and just tries to punch until you go down. If you try to wrestle him, he will panic wrestle back and eventually expose himself, make mistakes, and get submitted. Listen, I just think it's first verse, second verse, same as the first, a little bit louder and a little bit worse. We're at the UFC level now. Anton has experience here. Ibo has no experience here. Ibo has a chance to knock him out once it hits the ground. The line should be like minus 300, 400 for Anton Turkalij. And I just think Anton's been tough. I get it. Tyson Pedro did he bout them. And he's felt the power of Ibo before. I think he's going to be confident in there. I think he knows where he needs to get the fight. Anton Turkalij by BMF, which is better MMA fighter. Yeah. So for me, I don't know why Anton's the underdog here. They fought, and Anton showed that he was better. They're going to fight again, and maybe Ibo knocks him out, but I don't think he will. No bet for me currently, but Anton by submission is my pick. Lou?
Well, I mean, if I pick the pleasure man, Monk will never talk to me again, so I can't do that. This is his Chris Curtis.
Okay. Fair enough. I mean, they fought.
Yeah, dude, you're fucking on thin ice with him anyway, though, man. I mean, you did threaten his life, so.
Well, he got me banned from Twitter for reporting it. So, I mean, I'd say it's a wash.
Okay, yeah, even Steven.
So, yeah, I mean, this line, and Aslan, I guess, for a second opened at minus 180, which is even crazier to think. I think Pick'em seems fair. Turkalij just hasn't looked good at this level, and Pedro, who's not a bum,
no,
but his win condition is round 1. and he got there because Turkalj always keeps his hands low. I mean, he looked like super tough against Petrino, and now we're seeing that Petrino just maybe isn't some big power guy. But I don't care about the Almeida loss with Turkalj. Like, that doesn't mean shit, dude. He got like short notice. He got mauled by like a mountain of a man.
Yeah.
The Pedro look wasn't good because he had paths to just stay safe, and he didn't take them. And Jail has done me well. It's done me very well. So I'm going to pick Ivo Aslan here. But I don't know that I'm getting there. I just think that maybe Turkalj, it could start to get in his head that he's not on this level.
But he's beat Evo before. Like, they fought. They did.
Yeah, but doesn't mean it's going to happen exactly the same way again. Look, this is more that I can never in any universe pick the Pleasure Man to win. So the only way Aslan wins is round 1 KO. So
right.
Not betting it.
Right.
Hopefully we'll see like a bunch of women faint when Turkalj wins by round 2 submission. I'll see it live.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that like Anton's a little bit taller, like
sexier.
Yeah, I don't know. They're both pretty sexy. It depends on what you're feeling. Lou. So you're going with Evo by KO.
I'm going with Evo to not lose the happy hour show.
All right,
2 cents. Break the tie.
God damn, we just cannot get enough of these fucking unnecessary rematches. Like it has just been the fucking like.
I like this rematch. I'm cool with this one.
So I watched this fight.
Good fight.
I saw the result on Tapology, and I was like, okay, I gotta watch this. This is like, okay, they're rematching for some fucking reason. It really was like the tale of two fights. Like Evo almost got him out of there. I've never been super duper high in Turkalj. And boys, I might be pushing it here, but I'm gonna do something that I usually don't do with dude fights. I have no idea who's gonna fucking win this. And when I feel that way recently anymore, I just go to the coin. So that's what I'm gonna do. Wow. I want nothing to do with either side. I think it's a weird, unnecessary rematch, and I'm gonna let the coin speak. So I'm gonna say heads is Turkalj because he won the first one, and tails is what's the fuck. So usually reserve this for low-level chick fights, but it has been just fucking killing it recently with accuracy. So I'm just gonna do a little experiment here and see how it works with this one. So heads Turkalj, tails Evo.
Give us that plus money Anton play. Let's go.
It's heads Turkalj.
Let's go. Plus 110 Anton Turkalj. It is written.
I mean there aren't better ways to break down the fight than what you just did.
No, tell me another channel that brings out currency to break down their fights.
I imagine the coin's going to be there for Matthew's bazooka too.
This is actually, I'm really interested to see if this is accurate because it has just been uncannily accurate with the chick fights. So we'll see.
God. Yeah, we'll get to Matthew's bazooka too, or that should be a rematch. I almost said Matthew's bazooka too, but yeah, plus 110 to Anton, minus 130 to Aslan.
Dude, why not? Any random fight, they're just going to make a fucking rematch anymore. So, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first of a series of 3 here, probably between Connor Matthews and Dennis Bazooka. The other 2 will happen in Fury FC. But, yeah, Connor Matthews, the young, spry, what is he, 31? Still 31, all right. He's 31-year-old, 5'8", 71-inch reach, 145er. He's out of New England Cartel. So he trains with a lot of guys who are better than him, but he also trains there. Coming off of his second shot on the Contender Series, where he did survive against an undefeated Brazilian fighter who kind of did come back to, make that much more of a fight. Connor Matthews kind of just reminds me of Jared Gordon in a lot of ways, and I don't mean that as a compliment. I don't know. His grit and his toughness are going to be his number one skill here. I think Dennis Bazooka is the more skilled, talented fighter. Probably has the better movement and speed overall, and variety here. Connor can kind of make this a dogfight. Wouldn't surprise me terribly, but I just think this is a spot where Bazooka beats this level of competition. I think where he has a large athletic edge and just overall skill. Younger fighter as well. I get it. He got boffed by Emmers real bad there. That was a horrible look. Let's be honest. Connor Matthews is not Jamal Emmers. This is in Atlantic City as well, so there's a little bit of a home field advantage here. But, I mean, if you're going with Connor Matthews, congratulations. I watched, I think, 4 or 5 Connor Matthews fights, and I'm thoroughly unsold after watching his fights, including both his Contender Series fights. So I'll go with Dennis Bazooka. I think these are the type of guys that he wins against, and this is the type of line that makes me think about betting Dennis Bazooka, which is gross. 2 cents, what's your thoughts?
Well, you said it right there at the end. It's crazy to think that like you see Dennis Bazooka as a favorite and you're like, yes, dude, this is a sick line. This is a killer fucking money line. But like, I think that it kind of is. Like, I just think he's overall the better and more dangerous fighter, especially on the feet. I kind of got a feeling like he knocks Matthews out. I know Matthews is known for being tough, but he just ain't really fighting like super high level competition. And like, Bazooka is having moments against dudes like Woodson took him down 4 times and he reversed him and like was kind of smashing him a little bit. Like Matthews is the better submission grappler probably, but yeah, give me Bazooka by decision or knockout. And actually, fucking BetMGM gave me a free bet and I made a greasy fucking 4-piece, like a half bird fucking nasty parlay. And yeah, Bazooka is the first leg of it. I just think it's like, let me see. I'll see what line I got, but yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest. Like starting out before I watched the tape, I watched the tape ready to fall in love with Connor Matthews and come on here because I am not a Bazooka believer. Not ever going to be. After
Who
this
could be
right? But this is the type of guy. Like this is the type of level he, I think, styles on.
This isn't even Melsik Bogdasarian. Like
Yeah. And then Noah saying it better than I could. Matthews is the worst fighter in the UFC roster, taking the title from Bazooka, who was the previous worst fighter. Lou, are you on Connor Matthews from Popstar Never Stop Popping or Stopping?
A little Andy Samberg reference?
Yes.
Dude, that movie wasn't horrible.
No,
it wasn't good,
great.
But it wasn't horrible.
Oh, it's good. No, real good. It's really solid. Go check out Popstar Never Stop.
I'm a big fan of Samberg. So
yeah, Lonely Island's great. But so yeah, good. You're not on Connor Matthews.
So typically,
why is Connor Matthews even money here?
Because recency bias over Bazooka getting absolutely creamed by Jamal Emmers.
Okay, is Connor Matthews all of a sudden Jamal Emmers?
No, but this is how they open these lines. They don't know. So here's the thing. Typically, I would be fearful of betting a guy who got violently knocked out within the last 6 months. Mm-hmm. The difference here is I don't think Connor Matthews can hit him. Mm-hmm. And I don't think Connor Matthews is like a huge power guy. And if Connor Matthews, yes, could he go for grappling? I mean, I guess. But Bazooka trains with like a bunch of good grapplers. And I think he's going to be able to defend takedowns. I think he just wins. I don't think he gets a KO here. I think he just gets a pretty clean decision. That is a tremendous CM Punk picture.
There's a lot of love for.
I mean, it is fucking dude. I got Bazooka minus 125 by the by. So yeah, that's how I like it.
And money has moved in on Matthews. It's not money.
I think people are just looking at the Emmers knockout and being like, "This guy's terrible," and it's like, and I like Melsik Bogdasarian. I think he's limited, but I like him, and he's super powerful.
He's a good striker. Melsik is a nasty striker.
And also, he's like a great yam bag bet. Like a great cheater for grabbing.
Him and Simon, elite.
Tremendous. That didn't hit last week, but he did go. He did kick Talbot in the balls to try to buy himself time, and Talbot's like, nope. He tried, man. I like Bazooka here. I may bet him, but like, man, I just don't like. I don't like fading bad fighters like other bad fighters. Like I really don't like doing it, but like
sometimes you gotta do it. Sometimes
Connor Matthews like stinks.
Yes,
he's really bad, man. Like
it's just
what's his path?
A bad fuck up on Bazooka.
Like 10 minutes of top time? Is that
right?
His path?
No, he's got no finishing upside here.
Well, let me ask you a question. If he's this great grappler, why the fuck is he training with Rob Font and Calvin Kattar?
Because he's
he's not training with grapplers. He's training with like boxers.
Because he's from New England. He's got to be with the cartel.
I know, but it's not like he's not improving his grappling, which would probably be his best shot here.
Yeah.
But he's
But
not
he's
gonna
tough,
have
bro.
much
He's a fucking
Bazooka.
big tough
That
guy.
Bazooka's tough, dude. I know he got knocked out by Emmers, but like he's historically pretty tough.
Yeah, exactly. One guy's look good against actual people who are known to fight. Connor Williams
Yeah, man.
almost lost to my Applebee's server.
I'm gonna tell you something. There are some servers at like Buffalo Wild Wings who could knock the shit out of a lot of these Contender Series people.
Connor Williams. That's what I'm calling
There's like
him.
a 52-year-old woman named Marge that would like wreck both these two at the same time.
Yeah, but minus 120 on Bazooka. I think it is value here, and take advantage of lack of recency bias in that line, I guess. So next fight. Julio Arce, Herbert Burns. Herbert coming off an unforgettable loss due to exhaustion in the beginning of round 2. And then carried out crying. Julio Arce, not a guy I'm a huge fan of, if I'm being honest. He hasn't fought since 2022 when he got pretty beat up by Montel in that fight. Montel Jackson. Julio Arce just, should just be able to kind of beat up and make Herbert quit somewhere in round 2, like everybody else is seemingly able to do at this point. I'm not betting Julio Arce ever at this line, and Herbert Burns never should even get glanced at after his last fight. This is a weird fight, not a fight I'm really looking forward to. Julio Arce round 2 KO for the Ultra Square bet. Lou.
Dude, his round 2. I was gonna say round 2, round 3. Dude, plus 475 and plus 650.
Is it cheaper than round 1? Are they just assuming for some reason round 1 he plays with his...
Round 1's 375.
So like they basically made the same price. There's like he can survive 5 minutes.
Fun fact, because I said this on the other show. Do you know the last time Arce had a round 1 KO was?
Never.
His pro debut.
Okay, yeah, that
He
makes
has
sense.
2 round 1 subs, and like the last one was 2014. He's just not a huge volume guy. Like, I'm never betting Burns. If you want to bet, look, if you're betting Burns round 1 sub, don't, because he's not. I don't think he's taking Arce down, and he wings punches like he's trying to throw somebody out from right field, like at the plate. So like he's windmilling him. The last time Burns fought was the Long Island show that I was at.
Yep.
Where my boy Billy Algio just like tired him out in 5 minutes, and then that was the end of it.
Yes.
The hot pick here is that Arce wins. And if you want to be greasy here as a bet, I don't know what this line is. Actually, this will be out tomorrow. Fight to start round 2 might be really interesting because under 1.5 is minus 105. So, I mean, I'm saying is like, I'd much rather lay like minus 140 something than any kind of like Arce money line, or even as in the distance is like, dude, in the distance is, what is it? Minus 175. I'd rather play fight starts round 2 than Arce in the distance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't hate that at all. Yeah. Fun fact, Burns KO'd Nate the Train with that knee. So yeah. All right. 2 cents. What's your thoughts?
Arce KO first or second round. I mean, it's this one's a levels fight to me. Yeah, hot. This is going to be a flaming hot take, just like Lou's. I think Arce wins this mixed martial arts bout. And I think he probably gets Burns up out of there. It's Arce has not lost 2 in a row in the UFC, and he has literally been like win 1, lose 1 for about 6 fucking years. And I think that just continues. And like Burns is getting finished by fucking Bill Algio, who, Bill's a good fighter, but he's not known to fucking knock. That was like his like only 4th knockout loss of his whole fucking career. And, fucking Arce is getting finished by Song. So, yeah, I think Arce is going to knock him out first or second round, Hot fire.
Fair enough. Minus 395 money has come in on Herbert, plus 310 to Herbert. Gross. Under 1.5 at plus 100 as of now. Not a lot I'm interested in with that fight. But we shall move on to more grease in the grease fire, because Listen, I love Lupe.
Into the fire.
I love Lupe Godinez. I hate betting Lupe Godinez. Verna Jandaroba. This is just going to be a very, very close fight. I don't really understand why the line is at minus 220 for Lupita Godinez. It's begging for you to bet Verna Jandaroba in a fight that I think will end by split decision. Betting this fight to end in split, I don't think is a bad shot at all because these two pretty equal in the grappling. And if they're equal in the grappling, it's going to come down to two pre-average stand-ups from two fighters, one of which in Godinez. Does she have a 60-inch reach? Just barely. But both girls just kind of, I think, can compete on the feet pretty equally, compete in the grappling, compete in the wrestling. This is a split decision all day long. You're going to have like 11 to 10 significant strikes each round, some control time for each, a submission. Who knows? I don't get why the line is as wide as it is. I love Lupe, but for me, it's dog or pass. So fight's going to end in split decision. I'll say Lupe by split. Let's go 2 cents.
Should I go to the coin again? Because
Sure.
I've been thinking about this one all week, and I'm traditionally like a Lupe backer, and I just am really worried that she's going to lose this fight. Like when I first saw it in the line in the matchup, it was instantly, oh yeah, just Lupe, I'll throw her in a parlay. But like, Verna,
they want the coin 2 cents.
Lupe is sketchy on the feet, man. She's a dumbass on the feet. And like, yes. I really don't like that Verna's 35 though. So I'm just on the fucking fence, boys. And I think that, I think I'm gonna have to go to the coin. This is usually a little bit higher level of a fight. So
it's like even when you go back to Lupe at the LFA, she made her fight with Sam Hughes so damn close for no damn reason.
That's another thing. And like, I hate the MMA math too, where it's like, oh, well, she lost to Angela and fucking Verna beat her. So, dude, that means, you know what I mean? So I just, I don't know.
Lupe lost the Angela fight because she fought the most unintelligible fight you could fight in that fight.
She's an untrustworthy fighter as far as fighting.
She lost to Jessica Penne for the same reason.
She's a very skilled, arrogant fighter.
Man, Noah calling out the plus 1,000 play with the Lupe by KO.
Dude, fuck,
I don't think that's possible.
Yeah, I don't think this is quite like, I don't think this is too high of a level for me to bring the coin out. And that's what I'm going to do because I could see it going either way. I think you're right that it was
minus 220 on Lupe right now. I love Lupe.
So here we go. So Lupe is heads, Verna is tails. I'm just going to let the coin speak because I can't fucking decide.
The coin will speak.
I'm not betting it myself, so let's see what happens.
The coin will speak. Yeah, I'm not betting this either.
Oh, it's tails. Verna's the pick.
Oh my god.
Lord have fucking mercy, boys. Well, we'll see what happens.
If that coin hits, you gotta start betting those coin bets.
Oh my god. Am I fucking painting myself into a corner here where I'm just gonna like this has to be
the Verna Anton parlay would pay nicely. Lou, what's your thoughts?
I mean, I don't know how you like you look at this line and like I think Lupe, like if this is 15 minutes on the feet, probably wins a clean decision. But like, so you ask yourself, okay, well, what's Verna's path here against Lupe? And then you ask yourself the following question: what was Tabitha Ricci's path? What was like Calvillo's path?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what was Angie Hill's path? What was Penne's path? Like, they didn't have one. It looked like smash spots. And Lupe just did stupid shit.
Right.
Either not going for takedowns or just not throwing any volume. Mm-hmm. So, but the problem is, like, that's why I can't bet this, is like, because you're expecting her to be stupid. And then she could come out and, like, literally, she could fight like a good game plan. I just don't think she will. But Verna, I think, needs to have a lot of top time to probably win. She's not going to win a striking battle. So it's a pass for me. I'll pick Lupe. Never betting it. Never betting at this price.
Yeah, I mean, they could have gotten a ton of people's money if Lupe was minus 140. Like, I really do think that this line's going to keep a lot of people just watching this.
I mean, it opened allegedly at, like, the 160 range, which, okay. Sure. But even that's, like,
Right. I agree. So, yeah. Minus 220 plus 180 to Verna right now. The over 2.5 at a crisp minus 315. Disgusting. All right. Next fight. The featured prelim. Nate Landwehr versus Jamal Emmers. This definitely is one of the Twitter fights of the week, for certain. We were just talking about a guy or a fighter who gets in their own way, trips over their own dick to cause a lot of losses. Jamal Emmers has entered the chat. Yeah, I mean, he did miss weight in his last fight. He struggled to make weight in his last few fights. That's one worry that definitely I have with the now nearly 35-year-old, still 34-year-old, in Jamal Emmers, 20-7, coming off of a clean knockout of Bazooka, who we talked about a little earlier. The Jack Jenkins fight, I don't think he lost that fight. I went back and watched it. I still don't think he lost it. He does fight guys a little closer than he should. And I do think that this fight being fought in front of a crowd is an advantage for Nate Landwehr. This is going to be by the featured prelim. The crowd's going to be in there, nice and well lubricated by this point as well. To me, it is a tempting spot for Nate Landwehr. And I do find that I think this fight's going to be very competitive. I think both guys are going to go back and forth. I was talking about how I like that there's no like combined 70-year-old fights. This one is a combined 70-year-old fight. But I think if one of the guys is going to kind of keep that pace throughout, it could be Landwehr. I also could see a very real spot where Emmers is kind of landing whatever he wants on Landwehr because Landwehr just keeps moving forward and doesn't have any defense or real movement to it. And if that forward pressure isn't breaking Emmers, it could kind of result in Landwehr getting beat up for 15 minutes. I could see that too. Yeah. I don't know. This one is one I've been back and forth on. But I got to go with my boy, Nate the Train here. I do think he takes this one. I think it's going to be a competitive decision. And I just think that he's going to kind of be ending winging punches, getting the crowd on his side, and the judges are going to favor Nate Landwehr by the end. It's not the most technical breakdown, but I think at this price, I gotta go with Mr. Nate in front of the crowd by decision. Lou, what's your thoughts? What up, Jean?
Yeah, there's two things that I just want to play off of what you just said. Emmers, historically, the judges hate him.
Yeah,
they hate his optics. The Jack Jenkins fight's a perfect example. It's a fight I thought he won.
Yep.
But he's low volume. He doesn't do much with the takedowns. And Landwehr, where he lacks in skill, is like all optics. It's like everything he does is just looks like it's just the most amazing non-technical thing you've ever seen.
Yep.
And this is one of those fights where I think you're going to get Emmers getting like 3.5 minutes of control time and not doing much with it. And Landwehr ending the round, the last 45 seconds, landing like 10 shots in a row, even if they're not like massive power shots, just throwing and throwing and throwing, maybe getting an ill-advised takedown with like 4 seconds left in the round for no goddamn reason.
Yep. And the crowd going crazy. There's a crowd here too.
And the crowd enjoying it. So look, it's another one I'm not betting. I'm going to say that Emmers wins, but he does enough in the first 2 rounds to win.
Okay.
But I will say this. The only way I would bet this fight is I'd like a live entry on Landwehr. If he's like plus 400 or something after 1 or better, I'm in, because I think Landwehr will win round 3 at a pretty high clip.
Mm-hmm.
His cardio is great. I mean, this isn't like Ige just crushing him for 15 minutes. So,
all right, Furio.
I think if you get a really good price after 1 on Nate, you take it.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to. I just realized that.
Yeah.
Because I can't fucking bet in Jersey on my books.
Nope.
Unless I do like bet online, but I guess I could.
Yeah, but
you're lucky you can bet it all with.
I'm also going to be like, let's be honest, I'm going to be fucking hammered.
Yeah.
So like, if I can figure out how to like log in and use the phone at that point, like, tremendous.
I don't believe that, dude. You don't even fucking drink. Yeah, dude, this is Landwehr is the second leg of my fucking church's chicken greasy ass 4-piece. And fucking yeah, I just think it's close. I think it's gonna be really close. I can see it going to split. It's gonna be sweaty, but it's a free bet, dude. It's a free fucking Pariah MGM bet, and I do think there's value on Landwehr. Emmer's like, he's a good fighter. He's a skilled fighter, but both of these guys like are kind of have like lapses in judgment. Like sometimes Landwehr can be overly aggressive and can cost him. Immer just makes inexplicably fucking dumb decisions at the worst times. But I think he's probably like the cleaner striker. But if you look at their records, dude, they're very close to the same age. And they both are fighters that have good losses and just sort of wins. Like they're like Ludovic Klein's a pretty good win. Like Emmers has some decent wins, but they're kind of on the same level, and one of them's like fucking plus 175. So yeah, I like Landwehr as a dog early in the week, and since I got this free thing, hell, I was throw him in there. But yeah, I think in a close one, give me Landwehr. Like Lou said, man, his optics sometimes maybe even if he ain't winning, it looks like he is, and that crowd is. But I do hate that everyone and their mom and their fucking granny is like all up Nate's butt. It just seems that way. Like he's a popular fighter, and I get why. But he's kind of a bobo too, so I could see him kind of maybe making some mistakes here. But yeah, it just feels like more of a pick 'em. So yeah, give me the dudes plus 175. Nate, you're trying UFC, baby. Hey.
Yeah, Nate's down to plus 160 as of now, actually.
People realized they were betting Emmers.
Yep, minus 190 for Mr. Emmers. Should be an interesting fight. Good end to the prelims as well. Let's see if Nate can justify the potential bet. Main card starts with a fight at 178 pounds by the time this fight happens, because Chitty, with his 80-inch reach and his 35? Yeah, 35 years old, going back down to 170, hasn't fought 170 in 5-6 years at least. Started to fight like catchweight fights after that for a little bit with Bellator, before finally accepting he was a 185er. And then he gets bopped by Lord Juicer, Michelle Oyachechuk, gets bopped by Gregory Rodriguez, and then gets kind of just wrestled and outstruck by Albert Duriev in a split decision that really wasn't a split decision. So Chitty coming into this fight, making a very, very kind of desperate move, I think, down to 170, going against Reese. So two taller welterweights here. Reese, a decently tough guy for the division as well, only going to be giving up 2 inches in reach. So that will be interesting. I think making it through that first fire of Chitty is the kind of key for anybody. If they make it through that, I think that, it's definitely a spot where I could see it live betting Reese McKee after one would be smart to do. For me, I do think that Chitty goes in there and disposes of Reese pretty early on, but we don't know the condition he's going to be in at this point at 35 years old, making 170. And the gas tank was already questionable. Losing an extra 15 pounds doesn't make the gas tank better. He does have the power to where it might not matter, and we might have this whole discussion in his next fight. It's going to be a question, and it's just a matter of time of when it gets exposed. Reese could very well expose it. After the first round, he's very live. But I'm going to say Chitty by round 1 KO, but after the first round again, Chitty is in trouble, I think. So, Lou?
Yeah, I haven't bet on Reese McKee here. I've just never been impressed with Chitty. Like, his 2 good wins, his 2 wins in the UFC, or Dusko Todorovic is like the chinniest dude, like beside Jordan Wright. And Barry Alt, which was just kind of like shocking and stunning that even happened. But he looked terrible against Rodriguez. Well, until he looked all right for like.
He didn't look. Yeah, he looked pretty good.
He looked all right for a few minutes. All right, never mind. I'm doing my. Sorry, I confused him with Nchukwu last week. on my show, and now I'm like apparently.
No, he did look really
I'm just
good.
being racist and confusing.
He looked really good against Greg until Gregory started fighting back, and then
the Duraev fight was a bad look. The Jacek look was a bad look. I don't like the move. I don't know what he's going to look like. And let's be honest, like, with all this weight he's going to have to lose, I'm not assuming that he's like going to have this massive power in round one. And I don't think he has 5 minutes of cardio at this weight class. I think McKee could just put it on him immediately, to be honest. Like, he's probably fighting for his job. He's going to take solace in the fact that, like, he fought back from he took a lot of shots from Lusa. He hung tough, looked great in the third round. I think this, that's another,
Yeah, it probably doesn't.
But I like McKee here, and I think McKee could actually do it in round one as well. But I like Chris McKee here. He's fighting for his job. He's going to have more volume for sure, too. So, yeah.
I like it.
Also, potential Yambag spot if Cheaty gasses early and just goes for, like, does what Simon did and go for the nut shot to get separation.
All right. 2 cents. What's your thoughts on this one?
Fucking pass, dude, in all capital letters.
Coin.
No, sir. No. I've got to pick on this one. I think that Cheaty's going to knock him out, but it's not something I'm super duper confident in. I absolutely see a world where Cheaty doesn't get him out of there. He gasses. Reese, can hang tough sometimes. He's only been knocked out twice. One of them was just getting fucking super smashed by Chimaev, but obviously that's not going to be that kind of fight with Cheaty. But I think that if Cheaty and Joe Kawani tried to make 155 pounds where Reese McKee has fought at before, that he would fucking die. Like, his organs would systematically shut down and he would fucking be a dead man. I think this is going to be a case of size, strength, man strength, and power, baby. Boost the power. So, yeah, I say Cheaty gets him out of there. But, Cheaty's too unreliable to bet on. But I think Reese McKee's a lightweight, and I think he might be heading back to Cage Warriors, boys. But we're going to see. No bet for me, though.
Yeah, I really tried to hype myself up earlier in the day saying that Cheaty was just going to walk through Reese McKee here. So, I don't know. Maybe I just stay.
He might, dude. He might in the first round. Like, he kind of starts pretty quick, and Reese has been he did get put out of there.
I don't see Reese surviving through the Gregory Rodriguez blitz. I don't see him surviving through the Barrio types of and I don't know. I just think this is the level Cheaty excels at. Again.
Reese gets in firefights, man, and like Cheaty is happy to welcome that early.
So
see a Reese sub late though, so I don't hate that. I don't hate like a stab on McKee, but
minus 140 to Cheaty, minus or plus 120 to Reese here. So good start to the main card. Moving on to the next one here. And honestly, still trying to find the fifth leg for the Zhongli. So help me out, everybody, because Bill Algeo and Kyle Nelson. Spoiler alert, this is not going to be it. Bill Algeo at minus 240. Sorry, not going to be it at all. Kyle Nelson, we saw in the last fight with Fernando Padilla. And he's just been fighting better lately. It seems he's learned from some of his losses, increased the volume a little bit, hasn't quite gone for the finish quite as much, and fought more over the 15 minutes, I think, consistently. Always going to be in front of his opponent with regards to pressure. Bill Algeo is going to be the longer, more, probably volume, more diverse of the two strikers. Going to have coming in with a huge high from making an opponent quit, bro, and all this. Like, Kyle could easily just spring the upset here. I think this is going to be a very close fight. I think it's going to be a 29-28 type of fight. I don't see either of these guys getting the finish. I really don't see either of these guys pulling away hugely. This is one that I could flip a coin for real. I don't know. I'm going to go with Bill Algeo to squeak it out. I think that, King of Prussia, close enough to Atlantic City as well. So he'll have a lot of support in the crowd, and he's just gonna. I think it's kind of similar with the Nate Landwehr fight. I think if this is a close fight, Bill Algeo is going to look like he's massively winning the moments compared to Kyle Nelson, who's just kind of a little more rudimentary with his approach, you could say. And but Kyle Nelson winning this one or stealing this one would not surprise me either. He's got good power, especially early, so he could get some knockdowns and bank some rounds early as well. I'll go with Bill Algeo 29-28 split, or not split, but close. I don't know who's up. Lou?
This fucker's not hurting Algeo. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You know I'm biased here, as I always have said. Graduated high school with Algeo's coach, so I am completely biased in this spot. But I don't know, like, this resurgence of Kyle Nelson. Yeah, I know he beat your boy Padilla.
Padilla beat Padilla.
Yeah, it was weird. But, like, look, man, the Blake Builder fight, Blake Builder sucks. He needed a headbutt from Doo Ho Choi to beat a guy who hadn't fought in 4 years. He lost to Jai Herbert in, like, one of the worst fights I ever watched in my life. Like, he's just not impressive. If you give him a low-volume fight, he's going to look weird and competent and eke out a decision. Algeo's not giving him that fight. And if Nelson goes for takedowns, great, Algeo just popped back up. It's a cardio monster. There's tons of volume. I think Nelson, the most strikes I ever saw him, when I looked through his stats, it was like, I think he had 23 strikes in a round was the most I ever saw him throw. Dude, Algeo threw more strikes than that off his back against Feely, like in that third round. Like, he throws 40, 50 strikes. He's in your face. He can mix in takedowns here. I think he breaks Nelson late, just like Billy Q did. Round 3 submission for the culture, Billy Algeo.
I like it. Trying to talk me into Bill Algeo for the 5th leg.
He's Canadian, dude. Like, come on, man.
I know. I have no problem with Canadians. Shout out to Jillian Robertson. 2 cents. Thoughts?
Dude, it just seems like too obvious of an Algeo spot. And I think Lou nailed it with the volume thing. Like, Nelson, when he wins fights, it's when he slows it down, makes it weird and awkward. Like, who's going to go first? And then he'll wing a big one, steal a moment here and there. Whereas Algeo will just kind of put like a steady pace out there, work behind the jab. He'll fucking mug for the crowd. So, yeah, it seems like just a 29-28 or 30-27 Algeo. And, like, maybe there's, like, Nelson lands one here or there. But, yeah, I don't know. Just the way Algeo moves and just kind of he can kind of, like, I know he can get in firefights sometimes, but I just don't think a dude like Nelson that's that low volume is going to have a ton of success. And he's gotten tuned by some fighters that are kind of on Algeo's level too. So, yeah, give me Algeo here. And yeah.
All right, minus 240 to Bill Algeo, plus 195 on Kyle Nelson.
And Fernando did get fucking robbed. Sorry not to cut you off, but yeah, that was bullshit.
Yeah.
Nelson's like not Trey Ogden's last fight, but Nelson's like Ogden, where, like, he hypnotizes you into these really boring, weird fights.
It is, dude. It's really weird.
Algeo is not capable of having, like, a weird, boring fight.
All right. He is considered for the 5th leg on the Zhongli as of now, but stay tuned. This is a developing story. Next fight on the card, make no secret about it. This is an SD Dumas channel, but I also have a lot of info when it comes to SD Dumas, and a lot of the info I find out is not great. When he's training, good. That's good. When he's not training, that's not good. And this has been a very, very loud camp outside of his camp. He's been dealing with a lot of legal issues as well. And with this guy, Nursultan, I don't know what to really expect out of him yet. And we saw with the Bruno Ferreira fight, he just kind of winged those punches in there and knocked him out. Has some pretty decent grappling as well. Slammed one of his opponents in Maine, who's not a bad fighter at all. And that was a really nasty slam he got on him. But a lot of his fights are against just like carpet salesmen, like guys who I don't know where they ever fought. So he definitely has a nice padded 33-8 record. And I really like SD Dumas. I don't like how he looked in his last fight, though, at all, against Potato's brother. And, like, for me, I just think that there's a serious grappling advantage for Nursultan. And I don't really, just because he got that knockout in his debut, I think the advantage would be to take this to the ground, get a hold of an arm, maybe Kimura him. Like, I think it could be that level of grappling difference there. On the feet is where I think Dumas does have a decent chance. Dumas has very good leg kicks, particularly, and I like SD, so I took a shot on the dog here, but I do think that he's could have some issues with his reach here. He's going to be undersized against Nursultan, who's just this long, gangly 6'5" guy. But again, I've been waiting for Dumas to look how I've been expecting him to look since kind of his Contender Series fight where he just fought very smart. But so far in the UFC, he's slid by in a couple of his wins, but he hasn't looked great. I don't know what Nursultan really is, but I took a shot on Dumas, very biased. So we'll listen to Lou and 2 Cents talk about this fight because I'm biased again. So I bet on Dumas at plus 240 or something, plus 235. 2 Cents.
I got Dumas plus 30. He is the pick and the bet, but yeah, I mean, I get people like I get why Nursultan's the favorite. Bruno was undefeated; he had just knocked out RoboCop. But dude, you said it, man. He has a really fucking sketchy record, and he's a front runner, dude. He does not fare well in decisions. So I think there's a world that if he doesn't get Cedricus out of there in the first round, that Dumas could win a decision, man. Leg kick him, land some strikes here and there. Like, Dumas has like okay striking and power. Like, and I think Nursultan's a front runner and might be a little fraudulent, man. You watch some of his fights, like he does some weirdo dumb, like he's a good grappler, but he does some dumb shit too, man. Makes really weird decisions in like certain positions where it's like he's in a dominant position, but takes a weird like submission attempt or something. Like Dumas could get caught early, knocked out, subbed early. I'm not saying that's like I get why Nursultan's the favorite, but I have questions about his cardio. Like I said, he has won 1 decision and lost like 6 or 7. And some of his losses are against some really fucking shitty no-name fighters. So, yeah, I think he should be the favorite, but not this wide of a favorite. So, yeah, I had to take the stab on SD, and yeah, let's fucking go. Let's hope he takes some of that pent up rage from some of his, what I'm assuming is going to be pent up rage from these legal troubles and bullshit, and just take it out on Nursultan's fucking legs and face, and grind him down.
According to, it definitely has been a loud camp, and louder than his typical camps, which are not quiet, is what I'm hearing. So probably not a good thing. Nursultan probably decide again, but again, we gamble sometimes. Lou.
Yeah, I'm taking Nursultan here. I'm never betting Dumas. He beat Cody Brundage. He's on the list of guys
blacklisted.
We have 15 minutes of control time with 0 takedowns.
Like Ned.
He won with like 12 strikes landed in that fight too, which is crazy. Like they almost stopped. He almost won by like coach calling the fight after the second round for taking no damage. Would have been like hilarious. Insane. I mean, not great for my boy. But luckily he's gonna fight Bo Nickel in a few weeks. So
no, it's terrible.
We'll be interviewing Cody on that week, I'm sure. But
Juan making good points here.
The one thing that was not brought up here is that Nursultan is now training with all the Philly boys, like the good camp. You're talking about Dumas not having a camp or having a loud camp.
Yes.
Dude, Nursultan's training with like Brady and like all those dudes. Going to be shoring up his wrestling. No, I'll calm down, Justin. I'll do the yam bags. Justin's gotten a lot funnier lately, by the way. I got to give him credit.
Yeah.
He's been a lot funnier. So I like Nursultan here. Probably get the takedown, probably get the sub. I don't know what Dumas's cardio is going to look like. And I think that's a big thing here. Like you're talking about Nursultan's like maybe not great as the fight goes on. I can almost excuse Dumas' cardio last fight because this was halfway across the world. Like a lot of, I'm sure he sticks out like a sore thumb there.
Yes.
A lot of weird optics there. So I don't really have a problem with that, but I don't know what Dumas' cardio is going to look like, even if he survives the first round, of just getting taken down the whole round and like abusing the ground with the way his camp's going. Like, I just can't trust Dumas to take over.
That's right.
And last but not least, somebody in this community has a rather large bet on Dumas.
Don't you even bring that energy onto the stream, Lou Betcha.
Yeah,
I don't.
Not part of this community.
Don't even say it.
I saw
I've
that.
I've learned to ignore the fake Monopoly man.
I saw that and I was like, all right.
Here's the thing: we can't give him that much credit that every time he bets he's wrong, because that means he's like as good or bad. It's got like he's got to get
the unit size was absurd for this. By the way, I would say the same thing if you bet Sultan. If you're betting heavy on him, I think it's a crazy bet. Yeah. I think this is a fight with somebody's on the unknowns. Like, if you're going to bet it to have like a recreational fun bet. Like, you can't bet serious money on this either way, even with the total. Yeah. Like, I mean, 2 cents brought up, like, he sees Dumas could take over and win a sneaky decision.
Yep.
So, like, I think the overs, like, that's the thing is, like, there's a lot of variance. So, like, would this be a typical yam bag play? No, because I think there's a world where it ends in, like, 3 minutes. So, like, I don't want to typically make that bet on a fight that I think.
A lot of kicks around the dick area, though.
And who's to say Dumas couldn't land the shot early and knock him out? Like, this isn't, like, I feel like people are like, oh, man, if it gets out of the first. But, like, Dumas is super fucking live in the first. Like,
yeah, I agree. No, Dumas,
here.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm excited about this fight. I think I like that it's on a main card too. So
can he win by KO with an ankle bracelet?
Sure.
On a high kick.
Yeah.
Right, dude. He knocks him out with the low jack.
Dude, that'd be. I mean, I would respect that immensely.
Yeah. But yeah, either way, minus 220 plus 180 money has rapidly come in on SD Dumas, which the last time that Dumas got steamed did not turn out very well. So just saying there. So on to the next fight. It's 2024 and Chris Weidman has documentaries coming out about the comeback on ESPN or whatever. I didn't watch it because I didn't want to cry. He's now taking on Bruno Silva, Sans USADA. Bruno Silva, who has one win in his last 5, and that win coming against Brad Tavares, or the corpse of Brad Tavares. I mean, Bruno Silva allegedly has a black belt in jiu-jitsu also, allegedly. But definitely one of those black belts that's painted with like Acme paint, because the dude doesn't have much of an MMA game. If he gets taken down after the first round, particularly, there's like a lot of low cardio guys on this card. Chris Weidman could, have a good game plan of using the wrestling and blah, 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 blah. But I just can't get past seeing. I think Chris Weidman's probably allergic to punches and stuff at this point in his career. I do think he's going to get hit and kind of turn, hit and go down, hit and put away. Bruno Silva inside of 2 rounds by KO. I just don't. We're not calling it a comeback because it's not going to be one. So I'll take Bruno Silva. I don't want to bet it. I don't want to include it in the Zhang Li. I don't really want to see it in general, but I got Silva by KO. I don't know who's up. Lou?
Sure. Let's make this clear. I can't bet your people. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I had to do it. You knew I was going to have some kind of like.
Yep.
Oh, do you hate me now?
No.
Okay, good. He hates me. He's unfriending me as we speak.
No, I'm not.
There's actually a.
He doesn't hate you, Lou. I do. God.
Right. Yeah, keep it straight.
So I'm going to tell you an interesting way to bet this fight. And we need DraftKings to put it up. It'll probably be tomorrow. I am interested in knowing what one Weidman takedown in the first round is. because if he has any chance in this fight, he has to go for takedowns like in the first minute of this fight. So who's to say he doesn't? And if he goes for a takedown, I'm pretty sure he gets it at a high clip. So you pair that with anything. Fight doesn't go, who cares? I think that's kind of an interesting way to play this fight. That's all I have to say about that. I think like skill for skill, Weidman is so much better. That's
right,
that's
but he's just
but he's 90. I get it. And I get it.
He should have retired 5 years ago.
But I mean, look, man, what did we just see last week? Just saw OSP.
Yeah.
Turn back the clock.
Yeah, but OSP doesn't look as terrible as Weidman.
I mean, he's looked pretty bad, but Weidman's looking frail. But look, man, if he gets a takedown here, what's Silva going to do? The round probably ends with Weidman on top. Worst guy. Dude, Andrew Sanchez is like dominating Silva. You know?
Yeah, but what if Bruno Silva hits Weidman in the head?
I'm just saying one first round takedown might be one first round takedown.
One punch, one diddy bob.
Dude, what do you think? But what do you think the odds are going to be for Weidman to get one? It's going to be plus 200.
What if Silva actually does throw a leg kick?
Just get a takedown, one takedown, and you win that bet. That's it. That's what I think is an interesting way to look at this.
You just have to hit Weidman on his body somewhere. That's all you have to do.
They're gonna throw you out of the Jewish Brotherhood.
Weidman is the first. Weidman is the first level on like the Super Nintendo Punch Out game, where it's like you just have to hit him. I'm sorry,
Oy vey. Glass Joe.
Oy vey. He is Glass Joe.
You still gotta hit Glass Joe.
Dude, you are fucking killing me tonight, dude, with the fucking one-liners. I don't know. Are you like fucking Andre? Are you getting a feed from somewhere? Is Jay Glazer like feeding you jokes or something? Like
John Glazer. Not Jay Glazer does NFL. John Glazer's the funny one.
Jay Glazer.
Glazer.
You know which fucking episode of the league I'm talking about.
Minus 240 to Bruno. Plus 195 to the comeback story. If Weidman wins and he parades a USA flag, it may beat the Miracle on Ice as the greatest American story. I can't disagree there with Justin. Well said. What a circus fight. What a circus 2 fights that is in a row.
Like, if he does win, there are men in that crowd that they're gonna come. They're actually like, he is so beloved in the area, bro. Like, so yes. And yeah, like, to Lou's point, if he does not, if it doesn't die, one punch, maybe he die. But if he doesn't, yes, like if he gets a takedown, Weidman is a legit Renzo Gracie black belt. Maybe he's choking this guy, but yeah, it's hard not to see Silva.
Just leg kick him. Honestly, just leg kick him.
He might. I know he's not known for that, but like, he's a big fucking boy. If he does, man, it ain't gonna be hard to chop down that tree at this point. And this is this is another thing that because you look at the line, Weidman, sure, ex-champion, blah 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 blah, but he did say the R word. He literally said, "I would love to put my gloves down in Atlantic City." So it's like, this is it. This is his last one. You know what happens when they pretty much say they're retiring? It's done. They're waiting for someone to put them in pasture. So
yeah, it's been done. And then Jimmy with a hot take here: head punch greater than leg kick versus Weidman. I don't know. We'd have to have.
He's not the most durable dude. He never has been. So
no. And so
my boy Madrid almost got him up out of there.
Yeah. I gotta go with the Bruno KO. All right, co-main event time. It gets a little less weird, I guess, because we got Vicente Luque, who is back from retiring from brain bleeding. He beat RDA, where he was an underdog. And I'm pretty sure we both cashed on that one 2 cents, if I recall correctly.
Sorry, you betcha. Yes, we did.
Yeah, that was coming back now, definitely a much more dangerous spot here against Joaquin Buckley, but I still think there's a level to the shit game, and I just think that Vicente Luque is much better. at MMA, much better at hitting and punching particularly, which is I think the realm that this is going to take place in. And I think Vicente breaks Joaquin before Joaquin is able to break Vicente. So I got Vicente in this one. I love the price of -118. And you bet your sweet ass he's in the Zhongli parlay. Vicente is better. Don't overthink it spot here. Vicente Luque by TKO for me. Let's go to you, 2 cents.
Yeah, I'm just gonna follow suit. Vicente is not anchoring, but he is the second to last leg of my church's chicken 4-piece, which is very greasy if you've never had it. So I don't know. I'm not quite sure if it is in the parts where I'm at, but yeah, I think it is a levels fight. It's funny because you look at and a lot of like casual fans or newer fans of the UFC will look at it and be like, oh, Buckley's the dangerous one. He's the one that's got the crazy, like, spinning back kick knockout of Impa and blah, 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 blah. But like, dude, he's the chinnier fighter. Like, you can say what you want about Luque and the brain bleed. It's a fair point. Like, he's a dude that's been known for his durability, and it kind of started to, show signs of cracking, but he's still only been knocked out one fucking time. Joaquin Buckley has been knocked out 4 times, and all of them have been pretty fucking bad. He goes down hard, and yeah, I think Luque is just a better striker. I think he's the tougher fighter. I think he's the better fighter. It's a levels fight. The line is just fucking unbelievable. I thought about betting Luque inside the distance, but I just was too tempted with the money line. Just had to throw him in there. It's a fucking gift.
Yeah, you don't have to be greedy here. -118. Luke.
Sorry, my boss our site's a goddamn mess right now. This is your typical steam coming in on one guy because I think the other guy's washed. When I just don't know where Buckley is better except for one shot knockout power. Like, I mean, like, how would you line Buckley against Jeff Neal? Is Neal like,
Jeff Neal would be -200.
Also, who is Buckley knocking out? He's not very accurate.
He's knocking out Fialho, who
gets knocked out by everybody.
Who's a fraud. Duraev, who's a fraud.
Right.
He went to split decision against Al Hassan, where he very clearly lost the third, where he got out grappled in the 3rd round by Al Hassan. Arroyo stinks, and he took
Alessio
killed him. Jordan Wright stinks. Impa is not horrible, but that was just like that's the one
never knock him out that way. Right.
And then but then you look at guys like Imavov, like for Chris Curtis, who, I don't know if you know this. I do not like Chris Curtis.
I've heard.
Curtis is just patient and boxed him and frustrated him. And he couldn't do shit. What did Imavov do? Boxed him and stayed away and frustrated him.
Yep.
Well, I mean, Luque is really good at staying in range and just doing all that shit. Like, I don't know what the problem is. I mean, and weren't we gonna if I'm not crazy mistaken, weren't we all gonna bet him against Ian Gary?
Yep.
Okay, well, Ian Gary, who I'm not I love Ian Gary, but is a way better boxer, way more precise, way better at evading anything than Buckley is.
Buckley really loads up, man. He telegraphs his big strikes like a motherfucker, and I just see Luque just stepping into one of them, or maybe he hurts him, and Buckley stupidly shoots a panic takedown and gets front choked or something. It just
now I want to add one more thing here because 2 cents just brought up my last point here. That fight with Luque and RDA, people are like, "Oh man, Luque just grappled all the time." I mean, he didn't. RDA was actually going for grappling, and Luque was just kind of rolling with it, getting position on the ground. I think Luque, if these guys get against the cage, if Luque is just winning control time and landing shots, I think he could just eat up so much of the clock doing it.
Agreed.
And Buckley may just try to he won't know how to get off the cage. He may duck his head. He may put himself in a bad position. I don't know why Luque can't choke him out. So no reason to fuck around with a prop here. I like Luque to win, and there's no reason to bet it yet. Because people are still betting Buckley. No reason to get involved yet.
No, I agree. Yeah, I do think we're getting close to kind of like the plateau of it at this point. I think we might see a slight buyback on Luke at a certain point here. But yeah, no, I like it as well. I'm glad that we all see this one similarly. Moving on to the main event. Good main event. It's I just, there's a lot of unknowns in this main event. Neither fighter has fought in 5 rounds in the UFC. For one, Manon Fiorot has very good takedown defense. Erin Blanchfield doesn't have the best takedown offense, actually. Once it gets down there, obviously Erin has very, very good grappling. Manon, in her one loss, it came in her debut against Leah McCourt, who not a bad fighter to lose to, especially in her debut by split. But I just think that, Manon Fiorot, she's, kind of slightly more lethal, but pretty much like Caitlin Jakagian, fought Caitlin Jakagian to a decision. And just Manon, I think her volume kind of depletes as the rounds go on. I think that even if Erin isn't successful on all her takedowns, I think she'll be successful in getting it against the cage, starting to exhaust Manon. I think Erin eventually gets it down and eventually gets the submission somewhere inside those 5 rounds. I don't think it goes to a decision personally. I think Erin uses the jits and gets a submission, has a crowd behind her, definitely continues to improve as she's going through her career here. And I think that has, some questions to answer about her cardio through 5 rounds. If this grappling isn't successful early, it gets very dicey. I don't think those are going to be problems. I think Erin's leveled up pretty properly and passed the bar at each of the levels. So I got Blanchfield by submission, round 3 or 4. Let's go to Lou.
Yeah, she's like female Marab, dude. Like, she's just going to be relentless the whole time. Relentless. I think Fiorot is fine. I think she's a good striker. I don't think she's going to really be able to do that for 25 minutes. I think that's the most important thing. I heard somebody saying, oh, man, JJ Aldrich, was tagging Blanchfield. It's weird that your favorite fighter has never lost a round. That would be my response. It's It's weird. Okay, she lost a round. And then she, just cranked her neck a minute later. So, it happens. Talia Santos lost. People have weird rounds in the UFC, man. It happens. Mm-hmm. This is 5 rounds. Fiorot may win the first. She may win the second. She may get taken down immediately. But here's the thing. Even if Fiorot fends off every single takedown in the first 2 rounds, even if Blanchfield's 0 for 9, 0 for 11, Fiorot's going to gas just from defending all these takedowns. And Blanchfield's not going to gas here. She's just going to keep going. She's going to keep doing it. And I think Blanchfield's super tough too. She can walk through the fire here and eat a shot to just go in. Mm-hmm. So I don't have the same confidence you do in the finish.
Okay.
Because we just really haven't seen Fiorot really that hurt. We just don't know. She might be super tough on the ground and just eat it and take shots. We just don't know. I know that Blanchfield's not losing a decision in the dirty terrace. That's what I know.
Yeah.
So, and maybe live entry after 1 if you want to get a better price. But even now, I think, again, if I think she's like Marab, that style, getting her less than -200, it's probably still a good price.
Yeah, -185
for a 5-rounder. Absolutely.
Yep. -185 currently. 2 cents. What's your thoughts on the main?
I do, dude. I normally am just looking to piss and fucking moan about a women's fight or a women's main event, but this is a great one, man. These are both good fighters. A win for either of them is fresh blood in title contention, so I don't hate that at all, and I cannot shit on this fight at all. If you are going to have a women's main event, it's good to have one like this. Blanchfield in Jersey, so yeah, it's hard to picture Manon winning a decision, honestly, and I just don't think she's quite as lethal as everyone tries to fucking make her out to be, dude. She only finishes jobbers. She went tooth and nail with Jennifer Maia, dude. Jennifer Maia took her down, who has horrific takedown accuracy. Yeah, I know Blanchfield doesn't have great takedowns, but I think she'll get one at some point. And she's just so, like Lou said, she's relentless, especially looking for to do damage. with when she gets the takedowns, or to just look for a submission. She walked through the fire with homie Jessica, who I think has more one punch power than Manon. And I just, yeah, dude. So yeah, shout out to the homie for sure. Yeah, that's my dude, man. Jessica's the homie for sure. So, but yeah, man, give me Blanchfield here. I'm not too bullish about a method of victory. I could see a submission. I could maybe see a ground and pound finish, but more likely I just see a Blanchfield decision. That'll probably be my pick. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is Manon really going to win a decision if she doesn't do a ton of damage? I just don't.
In Jersey?
In New Jersey? No.
Yeah. No, I like this spot. I've liked it since this fight was announced. I think it's proper increase. So yeah, we all agree on the main event. Real quick, I'll get to the Zhongli parlay, and then we will call it a day. But yeah, appreciate Lou you popping in here last second, as always. Or not as always, but always appreciate.
I only popped in so you guys would follow me on Twitter. That was the punishment. Do an hour show and then
yeah, exactly. Hour and a half, and you got to follow. So
2 cents will follow me.
Yeah, shout out to the chat here. We're up to about 20 here, so appreciate everybody as we're adjusting to the later time. Zhongli parlay time. I've been kind of going back and forth here, and listen, maybe I'm getting a little cocky. We've hit 2 of the last 3. We hit a plus 7,000 Zhongli parlay a couple weeks ago. Thanks to Ayman Zahabi.
The only man on earth to parlay Ayman Zahabi.
Yeah, so and what could go wrong? Hey, you know what? It paid out plus 7,000.
Great bet, dude.
Yeah, and then we hit the plus 1,500. I had this at a plus 930 with Jacob Malkoun in there. I just couldn't do that. I feel the Zhongli, there's an unwritten rule. It needs to be 4 figures. So I made some adjustments, and guess who's starting out the Zhongli parlay? 2 cents.
God, I don't even know. Hit me with it, brother.
A man whose price is rapidly changing as this stream is going. I am at plus 110 when we broke down this fight. He's now at minus 102. Anton Turkalj is minus 102. The price is changing on air here. Clearly a line mover with my 15 watchers here. So Anton Turkalj, update. It's updating as we're going. Plus 105. We have the price at plus 105. So lock this in right now. Plus 105 Anton Turkalj. Minus 120 to Dylan Bazooka because he's just better. We've talked about this. Bill Algeo at minus 240. He is going to make it in there. Minus 118 Vicente Luque, and we're completing it with the minus 185 Erin Blanchfield. That gives us a current plus 1411 if you lock it in right now. So that is the Zhongli for the week. Plus 1411. That is the updated odds. It is rapidly changing. So go ahead and put it in right now. Put it in for $20 and you get 350, 300. So either way, whatever you're doing it for. Any final thoughts? 2 cents before we take off here. Thank you, as always, for being here.
No, dude, thank you first and foremost. This is always a blast for me. Lewis, it is great to see you integrated back into society, and always a pleasure to be on stream with you. Shout out to both of y'all. Shout out and peace to the chat. Yeah, best of luck, boys. Make sure y'all smash the like button for Aaron and subscribe to his fucking channel if you haven't already. Yeah, man, I'm gonna keep doing my thing on Saturday, the pre-games. Y'all are welcome to come through. I'm gonna have the panel open. So yeah, just come talk some shit before the fights. And yeah, I got this old greasy 4-legger, and I will be tailing the Zhongli. So let's fucking go. Saw the man in the chat earlier, so shout out to the man himself. And yeah, thanks again, Aaron. Peace, boys, and best of luck as always.
How do you report it? You tell Monk. You tell Monk that I threatened him again, and Monk gets me kicked off Twitter again.
Lou, good to have you here. It was a lovely
Don't even joke about
I am a little upset that we did not set up to see the show in Atlantic City together, but it is what it is.
You know when I got my ticket?
Florida. Yeah, well, today I still had ways to be reached. Lou, what?
Actually, you didn't, because I can't DM anybody if they're not following me because I didn't pay money.
Well, maybe we should. Anyways, it's all good. It's really I'm fine not going to this card, but we need to see a card at some point soon.
Newark's coming up.
What do you? Newark. Yeah, what do you got coming up? Thank you for making some time on the show tonight.
Always love breaking it down, you guys. Although the adjustment from doing a DFS show to this is always weird. It's a whole different mindset where I'm like, I gave away Dumas as like my favorite dog play. So, doing a prop show tomorrow night, 8 p.m. with my guy Finesse the Books, and then the usual fucking nonsense at midnight with Monk.
Yep.
And then I will give away like a shit ton of soccer bets on the happy hour. I have like 20 bets on Good Friday, and then there's another like 16 I like on Saturday across England and Germany. So a lot of things I capped that I like this weekend.
Love it.
And maybe like 2 bets on UFC.
Yeah, no, this is not the UFC to go crazy on by any means. So
my favorite bet last week, by the way, was like the biggest bet I made all year. It's Carl Williams in over 1.5 rounds. It was plus 105. I'm like, I mean, if he wins, how else is he winning?
Right.
Like,
and
then he almost fucked it up by not going for a takedown the third and let like Tafa fall on his fat ass going for a head kick. And I'm like, what is he doing?
Yep.
Tafa gifted him that takedown. I'm like, that's over. I win.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Exactly. But these cards, they're not the highest level, but you can hit them right. This one I think is a little bit tougher though. So thank you to Lou. Thank you to 2 Cents. I think this is about as good of a breakdown as you're going to get for this card. So everybody live, you're going to join. Once in a while, you'll get a special guest like Lou. Once in a while, you'll just get me and 2 Cents. You never know. But thank you to everybody in the chat. Noah, Alex, Juan, Justin, anybody else I'm forgetting, General. Shout out to Dome. Shout out to 2 Cents. Shout out to Lou. We'll see you next week for whatever card is next week before UFC 300. So one more fight night next week. So thank you, everybody. Peace out. See you next week.